Welcome to the Rinky Dink Bullshit Podcast with your host with the most, the podcast god, Superfly, Johnny Lee. And tonight is a very special episode because in the studio we have the Purple Zebra himself. We have referee Dustin James.
Hi, everybody.
And Dustin, I gotta ask, what got you into refereeing?
Well, what got me into refereeing, a few years ago, I went and was invited to Grindhouse Pro Wrestling by, at the time, one of my close friends, Brandon Wolf.
Nice.
And they had an intermission, and I talked to the trainer there. Ronnie Roberts.
Good man.
I talked to him about starting training while I had a second to talk to him. And, we set up a meeting, and I came and had the meeting. Everything went good. And we were figuring out what my role would be. A couple months later, we figured out what it would be. And they needed a referee for, at the time, it was Aaron Williams.
Nice.
And Tyler Lee Deputy for a squash match of Aaron Williams and going over Tyler Lee.
Nice.
So that was my first experience for refereeing, and I've been training and working refereeing ever since for the past going on 3 years since that match.
Hell yeah. And watching you inside the ring, you can tell that you love it. You can see the passion that you have for it as well. But a lot of people don't know that you have epilepsy. Like
right.
Last night, Bobby Blade asked, he does? Because no one has yet to get to know who Dustin James is. Why don't you let the people know?
So, I was diagnosed with epilepsy back in a very early age, like back in elementary school. And how I ended up being diagnosed with it was, at the time, just a bully went and I was riding the school bus. He grabbed my head and just smashed my head on to the bus window. And at the time, didn't think anything of it, but from then, I started having seizures and took me to a specialist to try and figure out what could have caused it and everything like that. And they finally asked, hey, did he have any sort of head trauma recently? And come to find out that that was what caused me to start having seizures.
Oh, man. That was at a young age, too. And you wear the purple for a reason.
Yeah, I wear the purple because the color for epilepsy is actually purple.
And you're not just wearing it because it's a cosmetic choice. You're wearing it because you're bringing awareness to epilepsy.
That's right.
And I think a lot of people that don't realize that should pay attention because that's what you're doing. You're bringing it to the forefront. You're making sure people know that it's very serious, it's very real, and that when someone experiences something like that, it can be scary. And you got a fan here. She said, my favorite referee, that's Christina Ruth Barnes. She said her first seizure was back in kindergarten during the 9/11 attack at the moment the Twin Towers was hit. So you got a fan that understands very well your condition. And I think that's very powerful. And that shows your bravery because you're not just wearing the purple because you want to look good inside of it. You want people to understand this is a very real and serious thing. And I want y'all to understand that it could happen to anyone, which is true.
That's right. And I've met Christina quite a few times at a bunch of shows. She's very nice. And for me, like, I know there's people out there that have seizures that are definitely worse than mine. And they can't go and do things normally or they want to give up. For me, like, I'm not saying my seizures are just, I'm able to shrug them off or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm trying to use my position in the wrestling business to try and give these people that want to go and just give up, try and give them hope that they can get through this. They can fight through it as the Epilepsy Foundation and neurologists are trying to find a way to get a cure or at the very least reduce the risk of people having seizures. And
Exactly.
if me going out there and wearing purple so that way when somebody does have a seizure, they actually know what to do because of the fact that at the shows with my merch, I now have cards that say, hey, when somebody has a seizure, like, these are the steps to do for how to handle it. So people aren't freaking out anymore because that's something that does cause more harm than good when people are just freaking out because they don't know what to do.
That's very powerful, too. You're helping them out. I think that's very commendable. And for those that didn't know, now they're going to start understanding why you've been wearing purple and not the traditional white referee shirt. Yes, I've seen you wear that, but the purple is what catches your eye because it means something. It's very important and it's very impactful. And even Bob Blade last night, he was commending you because you're doing something special for those that have suffered from it. And epilepsy is pretty bad too. I'm not gonna lie. When someone does suffer it, you never know if that's gonna be it or if they're gonna come back from it. You never know.
Right.
Any seizure is bad because you never know who it could hit. Anyone that suffers here, head trauma was born with it. It's one of those things where you don't know what to do in that situation. And if I was inside a situation, I'd have to find the will to come back from it. Because my sister, I can attest to this, she suffered a very powerful seizure. And she came back from it. Even though it was supposed to, they said that she only had a month to live. She lived all the way to 05. That's 8 years bedridden, but she still fought back. And the Beach Boys was what woke her up. And I can attest, the Beach Boys music is powerful.
That they are.
But now that we've understood why you wear the purple and why you do what you do, let's get into the promotions that you work for. Why don't you list them out for us?
Like I listed earlier, I work at Grindhouse Pro Wrestling. Another one that I moved to was Ultimate Championship Wrestling and Triple Crown Wrestling.
Good promotions.
And then from there, I went to Generation Next Pro Wrestling
Hell yeah.
in Cynthiana, Kentucky. And then I also started at AMW, Appalachian Mountain Wrestling.
Yep, good place.
Wanted to make sure I got the letters right.
Hey, you got it right.
Because normally I just say AMW and everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So shout out to Kyle Maggard on that one.
He's a good man.
That he is.
You also work for Bullpen Wrestling.
I work at the new promotion in town, Bullpen Pro Wrestling.
Hell yeah. We plan to get down there in May.
And then I also work for Professional Wrestling Alliance in Carrollton, Kentucky.
Shout out to them because we'll be having them on next week, which should be a good one. Because me and him actually got to talking. He's a pretty stand-up guy.
Yep.
But yeah, you got a lot of responsibility as a referee. A lot of people don't understand that referee's job is just as important as the men that are wrestling. Because you guys got the hardest job of all. You got to not just watch the guys as wrestlers, you got to gauge what the fans are doing. You got to be the guy that's in between these guys and listen up. Hey, these fans don't appreciate what you're doing. Let's do something different. You also got to enforce those rules too. And that's hard. And you get fans always saying, y'all are blind. Don't they understand that the referee's job's hard to catch everything?
Yeah, we don't have eyes in the back of our heads.
Exactly. And referees get attacked all the time for no reason. Poor Dallas Edwards. Also, referee Barnes. He got hit for no reason by Stan Sierra. Why he was standing inside corner? No reason. Nothing at all. Gets attacked there, falls down, and then gets kicked right inside the head and sent out of the ring. Just because he was doing his job. He was literally just doing his job. Referees get no love, I tell you. Have you experienced anything like that?
It's happened a few times, probably more than I care to remember.
Oh, no.
But like you said, it's part of the job. Trying to remember one in particular. Probably not like where it was just because of my job or anything like that, but because like I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, no.
And it just happened to be that way, which comes with the job of like having to watch too many things at once, and it just happened. Back at Vic the Bruiser's end of the year show, I ended up getting splashed by Omega D, and my head ended up hitting the turnbuckle, and it knocked me out.
Dang.
At the same time, it gave me like a light concussion.
Oh, no.
So I was a little loopy for the next day or two.
Yeah, that happens because you were just doing your job and you were at the wrong place, wrong time, and you end up taking the brunt of an Omega splash, which was probably planned by the opponent because the opponent wouldn't want to suffer that splash. You know how Omega is. He's a hard hitter.
Yeah, that he is.
Plus, we've shared the locker room before. I remember that June 5th, you did some refereeing as well for TCW that night. It was a hell of an experience. Because me and Andy didn't know what the hell we were doing. We went out there, we did our thing. Sean Johns proved to be a good referee, but there's one thing that all referees should try to teach you. When he's doing the 3 for the final pin, don't go. Because any senior referee would be like, what the hell was that, son? You're supposed to count the 1, 2, 3. Just like that, son. Not 1, 2. That's that. That's not a referee's count. But he did get the 3, so I'll give him that credit. But at the same time, maybe he needs to ask some of you referees how it's done. Because you guys could have told him, hey, get their shoulders down. Count 1, 2, 3, because if they don't look like they're kicking out, make sure that they're down.
That's something I had to learn early on.
Yeah.
So it's a mistake I've made before.
Hey, it happens, though, because you never know if the guy's going to kick out or not, because you don't know if their body language is telling you, hey, I'm about to kick it. I'm about to get my feet out. Don't you dare count that 3. So you don't know if you're 1, 2, and then you're thinking, is this guy going to kick out or not? You can't stop and think that because you're inside the middle of the match.
Just keep counting.
Exactly. That's what they'll tell you as well. They'll tell you if the guy ain't kicking out, count his ass out.
If you watch any of the televised promotions,
yep,
like they'll have it to where like they keep counting anyways, and if somebody goes and doesn't kick out and they were supposed to, it's on the one that didn't kick out, and that's how some of these unplanned title changes happen.
Yep, and hey, and if it's unplanned, you run with it because you don't want to be the guy that goes, "That was unplanned," because then the fans be like, "This promotion is horse shit," or they'll be talking trash about the referee, which I've noticed too. The referee always takes the brunt of their anger over an unintentional title change. They're like, "This referee sucks. This referee needs a new job description. Someone get a new referee to replace his ass." You don't want to be that guy.
There has been many that said to replace me, they just talk smack on me.
Yeah, they do that all the time. And some of them like to talk smack on a referee just because he's a referee.
And there will be times, like, if I get a moment, like, in between matches and stuff like that, I'll talk smack back to him just so the crowd's engaged. To keep them engaged. That's what we want.
Exactly, because you want the fans to engage with you. Because if they're just sitting on their hands or they're sitting on their phone, then you're not doing your job right. You want the fans to either they're hating or they're happy for you, to at least show reaction to you, which is something that a lot of wrestlers and referees need to learn from your example. If you're seeing time where there's nothing much happening, go and react to the fans, because if the fans start reacting to the match, that's a good thing.
That's right.
Whether it be bad or good, they're going to be showing you reaction. That's right. I've seen some matches where referee and the wrestlers don't do that.
They just go out there and just do A, B, C, D.
Yep, but what they don't understand is that you need to, you're doing A, B, C, D. You need to also try and engage the fans, because it's the fans that's going to tell you if your match is good or not. Right. Because they're the people that are paying to see you, not the boys inside the back. And definitely not the ones that you're trying to pop. You want the fans to be the ones to pop. Like, we've had Bobby Blade in here. Bobby Blade and all the old guys, they'll tell you, nobody works the crowd no more. That's right. And the only ones that do are the ones that understand, I got to get these people to love me or hate my guts. Right. Like Stan Sierra.
Right.
Stan's a proud hating of the fans, and he'll tell you to your face. He'll go right up to your grandma and tell her that she sucks. Because Stan Sierra is the man. Although, Reddy X hates his guts. But he hates Reddy X's guts too.
That's right.
And that's how a heel in the face is supposed to be.
It's easy to hate on Stan.
Exactly.
It makes his job easy.
He does, and also he takes his job very seriously. Like, he'll get that Mr. Higgins, he'll use it on you. Referee or not, he'll use it. And also, like he says, if the referee didn't see me use it, then it was legal. But that's only because the referee was knocked out by him first. Or he had Kyle Maggart do it for him. The man's always got a backup plan. Plan B to plan C. You never can tell. But that's what makes wrestling special.
That's right.
And the referees are one of the cogs that make it as good as it is. A lot of people don't give the referee their flowers, but the referees need their flowers. Referees like you. Because you're not just out there doing your job. You're also giving hope to people that actually suffer from epilepsy. Like your fan that's inside the chat right now. She's appreciating everything you do. And I'm pretty sure that there's more than us appreciating everything you do, because they can tell what that purple means.
That's right.
And a lot of people that didn't know are going to understand and are going to realize this guy's doing something special. And that's what it's all about. you're giving hope to fans around the world that suffer from this condition. They're saying, hey, that guy is special to me because he's wearing the purple. It's letting me know there is someone out there that's bringing awareness to what I have. And it's letting me and all the fans out there know Dustin James is the referee to be paying attention to.
That's right.
PWA knows that. And I appreciate the words of Charles because he'll be here next week. So is Tegan Rose.
That's right.
And Tegan Rose did a hell of a job at Grindhouse recently.
Yes, she did.
She almost won the title. Can you believe that?
I can because I, luckily enough, got to referee that match.
Yes, you did. Also, did you see what Larry D did? Oh, yeah, he did because you had a front row seat to see what happened.
Firsthand.
You saw firsthand how he drove even higher back into that guardrail. You told him, Larry, stop, Larry. He's like, I ain't going to listen to no referee. Dallas even tried to beg him, hey, Larry, stop it. I mean, that is his scum dog. And his scum dog got destroyed by Larry D. Apparently, he was angry because Ethan hit him with that boot.
Yeah.
Did you see that boot?
I think I did, yeah. I was watching in the back.
Man, they should have let you be the referee. You would have avoided getting knocked out and saw that boot and then said, nope, sorry, Ethan, and protected him from getting a beat down from Larry D. Unfortunately,
getting him protected from Larry D. Cause Larry D's a big.
Oh, he is.
And he's one of my bosses too. So.
Oh no, he would definitely be telling you, you touch me. Don't think about coming back to referee for my matches.
No, it'd be one of those. Yeah, don't touch me or else you ain't getting paid.
But that's the beauty of being a referee. A lot of people don't understand that they play just as much of an integral part of professional wrestling as the wrestlers themselves and the cameramans and the people that's out there make sure that the people look good on camera. Because referees got the best seats out of the house. They can gauge if the fans love them, if the fans hate it, or the fans just meh, in between. That's what makes it special. You, Dallas Edwards, Jonathan Barnes, every referee plays a part.
That's right.
And that's what a lot of these fans need to understand. The fans, there are some that don't believe the referee does their job. But that's because they're not paying attention. They're saying the referee can't see. The referee can't see because they're being blinded by the heel. Have y'all seen someone gouge your referee's eyes out? Have y'all seen when the referee's got his back turned, they jump and they smack the referee down? Come on.
Or when the heel's manager gets up on the apron and they start screaming at us and we got to face them.
And apparently your eyes are supposed to be inside the back of your head too. While you talk to the manager.
That's right.
That's the fans for you, because there are some that don't understand that y'all got to keep your eyes on the manager, because what happens if the manager decides he's going to attack the opponent?
That's right.
That leads to this DQ, right?
That's right.
So you got to talk to that manager, because he's getting up on the apron. He's could be pulling out brass knuckles, could be pulling out a cane. You never know what he's going to pull out.
You never know anymore.
Exactly. And you've been doing a great job. That Grindhouse loves you. Generation X loves you. Every promotion that you're working for right now, they value you.
That's right.
And that's what's important. Tell us how you got started with Pro Wrestling Alliance.
Let's see. It was back in, I want to say, October, November. Sometime in that time frame. Dallas Edwards had just done a show for them, and we had just wrapped up at Grindhouse that day.
Nice.
And I can't remember if it was Ryan or Charles that was there that day and saw the show, and he was looking for more members for the roster and in particular referees. And he asked me if I could referee the show, and I said, yeah, sure. And I put him down, and I came, and I saw that the locker room was very talented, and they seemed to have very nice chemistry and things like that. I got in there and I iron ref the show. I didn't mind it. And it being in Carrollton, and they said they were a new, like, trying to build up the town again for wrestling. So it was something that was like, you know what, I want to be a part of that. Because when it comes to going and building up basically, like, newer promotions.
Yeah.
Like Bullpen and PWA. Like, those are things that I want to be a part of. Like, if something's already been established, I'm not saying I don't want to be a part of it, but it's like, if I go through and I work for these promotions that are trying to get going and all that stuff, and they go and they take off and stuff, then it allows me to say, I was a part of that. I can say I was part of the reason that they're succeeding.
Yep.
And me, with the Epilepsy Foundation and the Purple Zebra and everything like that, I can have that tied to it as well.
Heck yeah. That's a good goal.
And ever since that first show, I've been refereeing every PWA show since then, and as they look for another referee, they've had me iron ref the shows, and it hasn't bothered me at all. I've enjoyed the shows. I've enjoyed the talent that's come in, and I've enjoyed the fans. And it's not a place I want to say I want to leave anytime soon.
Heck yeah. That's a place that you got to be a part of. Because their next show is May 11th, right?
That's Bullpen.
Oh.
Bullpen is May 11th.
What's the next show for PWA?
They haven't said the exact date yet. They're still figuring out when we're going to run next.
Well, if they do figure it out, let us know.
That I will.
Because we definitely plan to go to Bullpen Wrestling. Because May 11th, that's right up our alley. Same thing with AMW's Weekends of Champion. Will you be there?
That I will.
Hell yeah. Because we plan to go out there. And Christina chimed in. She said that wrestling is in my blood too. Oddly enough, I have a family member that wrestles, John Strange, and I used to watch it with my papa and my mama. Oh, John Strange. We know him. Heck yeah. John Strange is the man that wears a paper plate mask with a grinning face on it.
Okay.
And he's also done some crazy bumps. I'll tell you what. If there's one man that you don't want to get into a fight with, it's John Strange. Like Yara Rock was saying last night, he teamed up with the man. The man is the type of guy that if he's inside a match, he's going to try to do something crazy. He'll climb up to a balcony and try to jump down on top of you. You don't want it. Trust me. Because John Strange will whoop your ass. But that's what's special about it. I didn't even realize that Christine was someone related to John Strange himself. That's awesome. And someone else said something. Oh, she said that most of the time, I like everybody. I just act like I don't during the match. Just get them going. I felt I would like with Stancy and Marty Clay. I mean, that is true. That is kind of like a... Have you seen the guy that's on Facebook, and he's usually always got something to say about Marty Clay? No matter what. Either Marty Clay won a match or he lost a match. Somehow he's always got a joke for Marty Clay. It's all in good fun, but it makes Marty Clay mad.
Not sure which one that is. I've seen quite a few like it.
Oh, man. I didn't know that there was a lot of people like him.
Like, there's a lot of people that chime in for, like, Marty Clay winning or losing. Like, I haven't gone and, like, looked through, like, every single comment.
Yeah.
Because, like, usually, like, for Marty Clay matches, for him winning or losing, like, he's got a lot of fans.
He does. That dead man's curb, you don't want to get caught in it. Trust me.
No, you don't.
That's a special move, too, because when he first whipped it out, we kind of helped him come up with that name because he was looking to name it. Dead Man's Curb was the best sounding name they had. And now, whenever someone sees it being moved, I better hear them screaming, "That's Dead Man's Curb," because that's what it is. Once he hits it, you on Dead Man's Curb, you dead. And that's how he's won many championships so far. I'm still waiting to see him hit Stan Sarah with it. That's a long time coming.
I feel like it's coming soon.
That's right, because he's a big boy, but Marty Clay, he's got those muscles. He could pick up a big boy like Stan and do it. I mean, just imagine a guy his size getting Dead Man's Curbed, because I can see it. Stan may think that he's the top dog, and he may downplay Marty Clay, but Marty Clay hitting the Dead Man's Curb can come out of nowhere. So Stan Sarah should watch himself because he's had many chances to face Marty Clay. He thinks that he knows Marty Clay, but Marty Clay's yet to give him the Dead Man's Curb. Now, he witnessed it during the War Games match last year. It happened to Adrian Alexander. Caught the man while he was trying to escape the cage. Of course, the man should have known if you escape the cage, the EQ happens, and his team would have lost. Yeah. But Marty Clay puts him onto his shoulders, and as he jumps off the top rope, it was Dead Man's Curb that got hit. Stan Sarah better realize that could be his future.
It's all a matter of time, I think.
Exactly. Because any move could be your end. A tombstone pile driver, a DDT, a leg drop, any move can take you out.
Roll up.
Yeah, roll up is the most devastating move in professional wrestling. A lot of people don't realize this, but a roll up is the secondary finisher of all wrestlers. They can whip it out anytime, anywhere when the wrestler's back is to them. Just ask Drew McIntyre. He lost that Elimination Chamber because of it. That was Damian Priest's third finisher. He's got the South of Heaven, he's got the Razor's Edge, and he's got the roll-up. Drew McIntyre should have known. Don't turn your back on someone that has a roll-up as a finisher, because it was bound to happen. But that's the beauty of a roll-up. Also, don't forget the schoolboy.
Yeah. Because
a lot of people have forgotten that wrestling pins also involve schoolboys. Schoolboys can be hit anywhere. Even the crucifix pin can happen. The crucifix pin is where the guy wraps his legs around the other guy's arm, while he's got his other arm around the guy's arm, and they're on their back, and they pull them over, and they 1, 2, 3 real fast. That's a pin. That could be a finisher. Just imagine someone gets major heat for doing a simple pin, the crucifix pin. I want to see that again, because there are some pins that have been missing from wrestling for a lot of years now. No one does the schoolboy pin no more. They instead do the schoolboy into a super kick. No one does the crucifix pin anymore, only on rare occasion. And nobody does the Hurricanrana pin anymore, unless it has to be.
Right.
But that's a good finish too, because Rey Mysterio made that popular.
Right.
Imagine a guy that's 6 foot, jumps off top rope, hits the Hurricanrana, gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Right. That's a big boy.
Right.
And he's making Rey Mysterio's move look like it's a powerful finish. I want to see that again. But nobody does it no more. Half the time, when they do it, they want it to make sense.
Right.
But it doesn't make sense inside their match because it's out of place. It's got to be a move that's done by someone that understands that it has to be done out of desperation, and it has to be done the way Rey Mysterio would do it, because that's a damn good finish. Now, what would you say your favorite variation of pin would be? Because you've been on the view of a lot of pins.
Let's see. So a pin that successfully won the match, or just a pin attempt?
A pin that has successfully won the match. What would you say was the best pin that you witnessed?
I've seen a few. Trying to figure that one out. I've seen a few of them.
It's a tough one.
That it is.
Especially if you've seen some amazing ones.
Let's see. I really like the classic one more than anything because of how it's basically set up.
Nice.
Because of the fact, like, you can do, like, so much setup for it. Like, you can do the, like with Shawn Michaels, you could always do the super kick into the fall onto him.
Yep.
Hook the leg, pin. You could do the frog splash onto it,
Yeah.
like RVD and Eddie Guerrero did. So 1, 2, 3. And then you can always just, like Undertaker.
Yeah, the darkness pin.
Yeah.
That's his go-to
classic,
move.
but still.
Yeah, it's classic because they're on their back. The guy can hook. The guy has to hook their leg because they can kick out if they don't. Guy also hold down that arm because if they got that arm free, then they can just do that.
Right.
Or this. That's my favorite version of the pin because I've seen some wrestlers that will pin the guy and they forget to hook the leg and then the guy can kick out. And they wonder, how'd he kick out of that? It's because you've got to hook the leg. If you hook the leg, you prevent the kick out from happening. It's that simple.
Now, my favorite pin attempt, because I'm not sure if it's actually won a match yet or ever won a match, was like the figure 4 pin. Like,
oh, nice.
They're locked in the figure 4 and their shoulders are down. The ref's counting 1, 2.
Yep.
And then they get the shoulder up because I'm not sure if it's actually gone and won the match that way because normally it's a tap out. That's why I was like, did Ric Flair ever win the match with the figure 4 as a pin as opposed to the submission?
Not yet. He's tried, though. There's also been wrestlers that have tried to do the pin on him, but it doesn't work. Now, I'd like to see it work, though. I mean, imagine this. Someone does the figure 4 leg lock. The referee goes to count, and the other guy can't kick out because his legs are so tightly wrapped that the guy is forced to keep his hands onto the mat, so he can't do that and he can't do that. So he's forced to have to take that pin with his shoulders down. I'm still waiting for someone to do that. No one has yet to even try that.
Right.
It would make sense. Because the figure 4 hurts your legs. Well, you can't think about kicking out while your legs are being bent all the way around.
You keep trying to, like, roll over to reverse the pressure.
Yep, you could try. But the guy that's got the pin, that's got it hooked in, he could just keep his legs fighting back against you trying to kick out. Because now you can't turn yourself, that way. You're forced to just take it like a man because he's got his legs so tightly wrapped around your legs that you can't kick out.
Right.
You're trying every way you can. You can't think about raising this arm up to kick out because the pain's so much on the legs. You're forced to get that because now he can't kick out. I want to see that happen. I'm surprised that's never happened. No one's even thought about it. Because imagine this. They're both beaten down. They're both exhausted. Other guy puts the figure 4 leg onto him. The guy that's the opponent, he's too exhausted to kick out. So he's in pain, and he can't think about kicking out. He can't think, oh, I can just raise this arm up, or I can raise this arm up and kick out. No, he's focused on the pain that's inside of his leg, and he makes that mistake of being unable to raise up the shoulder because he's too exhausted to do it.
Like, usually in, like, submission moves, in order for the winner to go and win by submission, like if they don't tap out,
yeah,
the ref is just checking them 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
That way, ring the bell. This move, it's instead of raise the arm 1, 2, 3, it's literally like your shoulders are down, so 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, because they're too exhausted to kick out. So as soon as you set that shoulder's on the ground, the other shoulder's on the ground, it's got to be you can't just check their arm and see, oh, this guy passed out. No, he's being pinned because he's unable to kick out because he's exhausted. And that makes sense.
I think it works in the reverse as well, too.
Yep, it can. All it takes is being able to flip the move around, and now your opponent that had the move on you, if his shoulders go down and he's unable to answer the count, then the referee, just slides up to make the pin.
Where the one that's in the move, like being hurt by the submission, sits up, but the one that's doing the move is laying on their back. The ref can slide over. 1, 2.
Yep. Because
they got it.
Yeah. And that makes sense because it's a move that's devastating. The figure 4 leg lock can hurt. Think about that.
Right.
So if both men are exhausted and the guy that has the figure 4 leg lock locked onto him, he's not going to be thinking about, I can just raise my arm up and kick out. He's too in pain. He's exhausted. His arms have no way of lifting up because his shoulders are going all the way down, and he's trying his best to try to fight to the pain, but he's forgetting one thing. He forgot to raise his arms up because now his shoulders are both touching the mat, and the referee's in a good position to count. I want to see that type of finish because I've not seen that yet. Right. It's always the same finish. Figure 4 leg lock's locked in, the burst happens, yada, 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 or the guy, when he does have his arms on the mat, kicks out immediately. I want to see the other one. I want to see the guy exhausted to the point they can't kick out. Because this is a move that should be taking him out off his game. Because he's exhausted. When you're exhausted, you're not thinking about kicking out. Your only thought process is, this pain's too much. And your arm's going to be down and you're not thinking about it because you're fighting through the pain. Your arm is literally trying to just think to yourself, I can kick out, but it doesn't happen because your arms are too exhausted to raise. And that would be a good finish. Christine said, another one of my favorite wrestlers are Grant Sorrell. You know who that is?
I don't think so.
That is... I'm trying to remember who Grant is. Who does he work for? I'm pretty sure if she tells me, I'll remember. But that's a good pin that I want to see. There's a lot of things in wrestling that you don't see anymore.
Right.
That could definitely work in today's wrestling. Because fans, no matter what, they love the old school. They love the new school. And they'll always react to the Memphis style.
Right.
And that's professional wrestling for you. And you as a referee, you know this more than anybody. Because you're the guy that's out there letting the guys know, I'm the guy that's enforcing the rules. And you can't always look at what they're doing.
Right.
The fans need to understand that. Like I've seen you have to deal for a wrestler getting inside your face just because you called him out on something that he was doing dastardly. And he's acting like you didn't catch him. Mm-hmm. What's the deal with that? You're just doing your job.
Right.
And then you got the fans telling you that you're blind. If he's blind, how did he catch the guy doing dastardly deeds? Explain that. Right. Same thing with Jonathan Barnes when he got knocked down, he got crushed and splashed. Mm-hmm. All because he caught the guy doing dastardly deeds. I tell you, it's a thankless job. All because. Although, if you were doing it for the other guy, the heel, I'm pretty sure that he would have been giving you a wink and nudge and not hurt you at all.
Right.
He probably wouldn't have even gotten to your face and said, you listen here, I didn't do nothing to that guy. You didn't see nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. But
you would have seen, like, probably after the match, some money handed from him to me.
Yeah. Because he would have been bribing you.
Right.
Definitely would have been bribing you. But here's the thing. A referee is a good man. He's not like Nick Patrick from NWO days.
Right.
He's not going to say, oh, thank you, Mr. Hulk Hogan, for the money. I'll definitely do the job for you. I'll count your threes fast as pie.
Right.
I think that's what they want you to act like. It's Nick Patrick.
Well, with the fans, like, for that time frame that they're there during the shows and everything, they want to go and engage in everything. They want
Yeah.
to go through with all the stuff going on, and they want to go through and not, like, be, let's see, what's the right word? They don't want to go through and be told, like, hey, you have to cheer for this one, or you have to boo for, or
Yeah.
boo this guy. And this is how it's going to be, so you need to act this way. During this time, they want to forget all of it. They want to go to these shows, and they want to engage with the people, like the wrestlers and the referees.
Yeah.
And anybody else that's there how they want, because during that time out in, like, outside that arena,
Yeah.
they can't do that without being told, like, well, that offends so-and-so, or that offends
Yeah.
me because, well, I like this one, and because you don't like that one, then, you know, that hurts my feelings. So
Yeah.
you can't do that, so therefore you can't voice your opinion. But at wrestling, you can voice your opinion as loud as you want.
Exactly.
And that is what this business, that is one of the things in this business, actually, that we want to happen, is have the fans go and just be as loud and as supportive one way or the other, whether it's the good guys that we have, or if you want to support the bad guys, go ahead and support them, because that is why we're here, is for you guys to support the promotion itself, this business itself, is because go out there and just support who you want, because we're not going through and standing there as you come into the door and saying, hey, when you go in there, you need to support this guy. When you go in there, you need to say, no, screw this guy. When you go in there, don't acknowledge the referee. No, if you want to go in there and cheer me or boo me as the referee, go ahead.
Exactly.
You spent your hard-earned money to come to this show to support us. The referee, the promoter, the wrestlers, the managers.
Exactly.
You buy our merch, all this stuff. That's what you want to do, so you go and do it. And that helps the business, that helps us, and it makes us go and do our job in that ring even better, because it means that you are having a good time and you like what you see, as opposed to some of these other places like, yeah, we're just going to keep doing this, and fans that are just like,
That's
they're
right.
doing something, and it's like, it's not what I like. It's like, well,
That's the beauty of professional wrestling. It's that your opinion is valued. Whether it be bad, good, or just you having a good time to yourself. Your opinion matters.
that's right.
And that's why the referees get cheered a lot. Because the referees act like they're not being cheered, but they are. Like Jake Cloyd of OVW. Every time that me and Andy see him, the first things out of our mouth is, referee Jake Cloyd, or we're talking about his muscles. Because out of all referees, this guy's jacked as hell. Like, imagine this, a referee that's jacked, and this guy is somehow getting knocked down by wrestlers that's jacked. What's up with that?
Right.
Come on. I mean, he puts in the hours. Is he just putting in the hours to get knocked over? But that's the beauty of it. Because it doesn't matter. Because a referee's job is to be out there and make sure that the match goes smoothly. Because if someone's cheating, you got to make sure that's not happening. But apparently, the bad guys always got to make sure the referee's blind. Because that's all I see. Always poking them sides, or he's having his manager distract him, or he's getting up on the apron with his tag team partner, and his tag team partner tells him, hey, ref, come over here. And they're trying to get inside the ring. They're not trying to get inside the ring. They're just trying to keep you from looking behind you at what the guy's doing.
They find ways to get around the rules without the referees or anybody else noticing.
Exactly.
But make sure that the fans notice.
Exactly. The fans are trying to tell the referees, hey, I saw what this guy, but here's the thing. The referee didn't see it, so he can't really verify what you're saying or not. Because you're the ones that saw it. The referee wasn't able to see it. The referee was distracted, blinded. Made sure that he could not make sure that you were verifying it. Like I've seen fans get pissed off because the referee did not accept when they said, I saw Stan do that. I saw Stan use Mr. Higgins. He did it. The referee's like, I can't verify what y'all are saying because I didn't see it. I wasn't the one watching because the referee couldn't see. Because Stan made sure that they wasn't going to pay attention to what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about wrestling. Referee's job is never over. When the heel wants to take the referee out, he's going to. It don't matter if the referee's been good or not. Whole match. Heels are assholes. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Because look at what happened to Jonathan Barnes, poor man. Every time he's refereeing a good match, this man somehow gets his jaw wrong, gets knocked into the turnbuckle so much, gets kicked out of the ring, gets clotheslined for no reason. And there's no telling how many other times he's been attacked just for doing his job. You referees suffer the most out of all the wrestlers. And they say wrestlers take the beating. Referees get knocked out once and it's over with. Referee can't get back up. And then they grab the guy by his shirt and throw him into the ring and say, now you're going to count for me. How's that fair?
I have no idea.
The zebras need love just as much as the wrestlers. Come on, wrestlers, be a sport. Don't grab a referee by his shirt and throw him around. That's unjustly. That's unprofessional. Be good to him.
That's right.
Then again, they'll still do it. They'll still do it because why? Because for some reason the villains are always assholes. It don't matter if they having a good day or they're having a bad day. Somehow the referee is always the target of their ire. I've seen Stan there take the Mr. Higgins and hit a referee with it and not even give a second thought about it. He'll literally just smile at him. Like, oh, my bad. I didn't see you there. Oh, he saw him there, all right. He was making sure the referee was going to do nothing to him. Referee even caught him with Mr. Higgins. He takes out the referee and makes sure that another referee comes out to do things. Who's to say that referee that came out wasn't paid by Stan to do his job? Exactly. Yet, people say the referee's blind. Referees catch things. But referees can't catch what the manager is doing to distract him. Can't catch what the guy that pokes his eyes out is doing. Because your eyes are gouged. Right. You're not going to see what Larry D does if he pokes your eyes out. Or you see what Stan does if he takes Mr. Higgins and knocks you out with it. No. Exactly. And you've been a good referee these last 3 years. And it's only going to get better the more that you do it. Right. Think about it, you're going on your third year. Yeah, third year. And then next year we'll make 4. Right. Did you always want to be a referee?
When I first came into the business, my first passion was actually to be a writer.
A writer? Nice.
But at the time, like, when I started, like, trying to write and all that stuff, like, other things came up and all that stuff, and they needed a referee, and I was the one that was like, here, put this shirt on, go out there. Like, all right. And I just started refereeing more and all that stuff, and I was still trying to write and everything, but after... Not last year anymore. I'm so used to saying last year.
Yep.
Because we just started this year.
I know, right?
As in 2022 at Grindhouse. Summer Sweat Fest, so July.
Nice.
I ended up having a seizure in the ring during one of the first matches on the show. And I hadn't been going by the purple zebra yet. It was just me, like, all right, let's go do the thing. Like, I'd been feeling a little funny all day and all that stuff before that, so it wasn't like something happened in the match. It was just, I'm stubborn at times, and this was one of those times like, yeah, I'll be fine, let me do it. So I went out there, I told him, like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, don't worry about me, I'll go out there, I'll do it. So I went out there, and, like, maybe 2 to 3 minutes into the match.
Oh, man.
Like, everybody was working. I was working. Security was out there. The two wrestlers went through and they're fighting and everything like that, which is fine. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm in my zone and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, I went down.
Oh, man.
And I started having it. Those two got called to the back. Crowd started freaking out because I'm having a seizure, and some of them wanted to call the ambulance. And my mom was there at the time, and she was telling them, like, hey, don't call the ambulance. And that's because whenever I have a seizure, if I'm not bleeding, like, I don't want the ambulance called because of the fact, like, I've racked up a lot of medical bills just because of an ambulance ride to be told, hey, just go home, sleep it off.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I got a $1,000 hospital bill to be told, yeah, guess what, you just need sleep. It's like, great.
Exactly.
So, one of the wrestlers there knew some stuff about seizures, and he came out from the back and helped calm people down and helped take care of me by name of Cash Jackson.
Good man.
That he is. And so everything starts calming down, and I'm getting myself back together, and I'm still in my ref gear and everything like that. And I come to outside and everything like that. The show had started to get back together and start going again. And my first words that I remember saying, because when I'm still, like, unconscious, but when I have a seizure, like, and I'll stop seizing, but I'm still, like, out of it to where I don't remember stuff, I start saying and doing, like, random things. Like, I'll start, like, trying to, like, crawl around or trying to get up and do stuff. Like, I'll start trying to get up and walk to, like, try and do something.
Yeah.
Like, I'll try to get up and start going to, like, I think one time I tried to say I had to get up and take trash out or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, like, I'll start trying to crawl to, like, I had a seizure at one time at my job, and I had it up front, and I was trying to, like, crawl my way to the back to, like, clock out.
Yeah.
While I was still, like, out of it. But
Oh, man.
one of the things is, like, so one of my favorite things is I have no filter when I talk. I try to put some form of filter on it based on who I'm around.
Yeah.
So when I am in that phase between unconscious and conscious, like I am coming out of a seizure,
Yeah.
but to where I can't remember it, there is no filter at all. I'm cussing at people and saying things that I don't know where they come from or anything like that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things I've done is cuss at a paramedic because they're trying to help me and all that stuff. Like, I'm cussing them out like a sailor and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but I'm coming out of this one at Sweatfest. My first words that I remember saying is, I got shit to do. So I'm sitting there in a chair and like, there's one of the wrestlers that was in the match I just had the seizure in, and they're kind of tore up and everything like that. And then out there and like outside the arena with me.
Yep.
Obviously, Mom's there, but so also is the Bruisers.
Good people.
That they are. And, like, I just keep saying, like, as I'm, like, getting up, like, I keep saying, like, I got shit to do. I got shit to do. Meaning, I got more matches I got to ref. You know, like, I didn't go through and just have a seizure so I can't ref. It's like, no, I was down for, like, a few more matches. It's like, hey, I was brought here. I was told, or I was assigned matches. So I got a job to do.
Yep.
I take this very seriously to where, like, I don't care if I had a seizure or not. Like, you told me, like, X number of matches, and that number was definitely more than one. So it's like, I got to go out there and do this.
Yep.
So I went and, like, I talked to Too Tough Toady, and Ronnie was like, hey, look, I'll be all right to go out there and finish up the matches I got. It's like, no, you don't need to go back out there and ref the matches. You just had a seizure in the ring, and these people are going to freak out and all that stuff.
Yep.
And would be against it. It's like, I'll be okay to do it. It's like, no, trust me. It's like, well, how about this then? Like, let me go out there and, like, during intermission, and, like, I'll tell the people I'm fine and all that stuff. Like, all right, we'll do that. So during intermission, I went and with Mercy Keller.
Good one.
That she is. I went out there and just did a little like, hey, I'm okay and all that stuff. And thank you to everybody at Grindhouse, and thank you to all the fans and all that stuff. And, you know, everybody cheered and clapped and everything like that.
Heck yeah.
Gave her the mic and went to the back and all that stuff and gathered up my stuff and kind of went home. And I kind of figured they weren't going to let me referee there for a little bit. And that's kind of what happened. I took some time off refereeing up there, but still refereed at UCW and TCW at the time.
Nice.
Because, you know, I was doing some pretty solid work there. And I had just started with them at the time, so I was like, all right, let's keep going. And then around December, I refed one match at Grindhouse, and then next month was Rumble.
Yeah.
So I started refereeing a few more matches, and they saw that I was okay to referee more and all that stuff, so I was going back into that role and everything. And then finally, I want to say March came about. March or April. It was coming around WrestleMania time during that.
Nice.
I had the idea for going all in on, like, the purple zebra. Because I'd had the idea for a while, and it was
Great idea.
mulling around in my head for a while, and it was like, I didn't know what to do with it. It's like, should I do it? Should I not? Like, well, if this fails, then obviously, like, now I don't know what to do. So I went, it's like, hey, can I get these, and can I get this design and all that stuff? It's like, yeah. So I went and got it, and I want to say first night of WrestleMania, I think it was, I did a show with TCW at Ferguson Gym, and we weren't expecting too many fans and all that stuff because of WrestleMania, the first night of it. And I was like, hey, since there's not going to be too many fans, can I try this out? I said, yeah. And so I went and was like, all right. So I took the white shirt off, and I put on the purple shirt for once, and went out there and started going with it and everything. Shirt felt good. It allowed me to, like, interact. And all that stuff. Like, gave me some new, I guess you'd call it, material for the heels to interact with me and me to interact with the heels about and the fans to interact with me and all that stuff. And then Gen X, I worked with them during that, and then I already had the purple shirt, so it was an easy one to transition to. And then finally, during this time, I went and brought it up to Ronnie and Tony and was like, hey, I got this idea. I know we were talking about going a different route for me, but would this be all right if I went and, like, did this route and focused solely on this instead of what we were originally talking about? Because I feel very strongly on this. I feel like there's more marketable appeal to this and more value in this.
Exactly.
And, like, I can do so much more with this, and me being able to go and very possibly bring in the Epilepsy Foundation to our shows, and anywhere I go, I can bring their attention to it as well. It's like, I feel that would allow this to have a lot more life and a lot more positive interactions with everybody because of what it stands for, and the fans would be able to know that it's for epilepsy, and I can spread the awareness for that by doing this.
Yeah.
And they went and gave me their blessing to pull the plug on what we were doing and start me off with this, and that's how I started with this.
And that's a good movement, too. You had the right idea to switch to the purple because people took notice. And, yeah, you did suffer that epileptic seizure, but you didn't let that stop you. And plus, now you're still repping for Grindhouse.
Right.
You're still repping for every promotion that you are. That means that you on the right track. And everyone that knows and has suffered from epilepsy, they know you're their referee. You're the guy that they're going to be paying attention to when they see that purple.
Right.
Because it's not just there to look good. It's there to bring awareness. And it's your ideal. You had it brewing inside the back of your mind for years. And finally you made it happen. And that's a hell of a job. And Tony and them, they realized this kid is right. Because you were. And it's paid off because I see lots of people tonight watching you. And lots of people that understand that you will bring awareness to something that they've suffered from. Christina there, she's been chiming it up inside the chat. That there, that proves just how powerful your movement is. Because it's true. You bring awareness for people that don't understand the epileptic seizures. You bring awareness to epilepsy itself. And that's a great thing. Especially for professional wrestling. How does it feel?
It feels like it's been a lot better than what I thought I could do, and it's allowing me to go and see how much more I can do with it, especially after November, when Grindhouse let me go and basically have that whole opening segment during Epilepsy Awareness Month.
Yep.
And even for that one show, we were able to tape the middle rope like how WWE does for breast cancer awareness when they work with the Susan G. Komen Foundation. They allowed me to do something similar for the Epilepsy Foundation and have my segment with Dallas Edwards and Mercy Keller and talk about how I want to bring Epilepsy Foundation, like try to build a bridge between the two, between Grindhouse and the Epilepsy Foundation. And so when that was a very positive thing, and then when the Epilepsy Foundation went and put that out on their own social medias and platforms like that, the picture of the three of us, me, Dallas, and Mercy, in the ring together, it showed me that, all right, let's keep pushing instead of, like, all right, let's see, like, is there anything more I can do, or maybe it's might not be the right thing, but it was something that showed me, like, this went a lot better than I thought originally could happen. So
Yeah.
let's see how good this can go.
And you're right, because the more you keep on pushing, the more awareness it'll bring to different promotions, to different people. Because you already made Bobby Blade aware of it. Because last night, he was honest when he said, I didn't know. And now that he knows that you're doing something powerful. And that the purple isn't just for cosmetic beauty. It's for awareness.
Right.
And people are going to start taking notice of that. People like Bobby Blade's already took notice of it. That's powerful. Because Bobby Blade is one of the best talkers inside the game. And now that he knows, he's going to understand him more by watching this. Because Bobby Blade is one of those guys that respects the referees too. Although, if you catch him on his bad side, I wouldn't want to be you.
Me and Bobby get along pretty well.
That's good. Because, just remember, his best friend in the whole wide world is Picture Perfect Jordan Cage. And he does come to EWA a lot.
Right.
And that's the one to watch out for. So if you ever find yourself having to be a referee inside this match, and Bobby Blade's out there at the ringside, don't turn your back on Bobby. I wouldn't trust him. Because that's his best friend inside the ring.
I'll see if I can change it.
Exactly. Because that's what it's all about. Professional wrestling is the one place where everybody can come together. People will say that any sport is the place that brings people together. No, that ain't true. Professional wrestling is the only place where you can bring an entire melting pot of diverse cultures and people and families and friends and more together into one giant movement. It's powerful. Because as long as I've been watching wrestling, I've been watching wrestling since 1990s. I've been around that long. Wrestling is the only place where you can find a voodoo wizard, a guy named Hulkamaniac, a guy that's a macho man, a guy that's an ultimate warrior, a guy that's got a pet snake named Damien after Lucifer's son. And they all come together to make one hell of a show. Wrestling is the only place where you can see a guy like Picture Perfect Jordan Cage having pink tights with black jogging pants on that he just rips off to build his pink tights underneath and him doing that the whole hip chain. Wrestling's the only place where you could find different types of characters. People can say movies and that brings people together. No. It's wrestling that brings people together. I dare them to find anything that they can try to say brings a lot of people together. Because I'm here to say, no, it don't. Professional wrestling brings people together. It's brought us together. It's brought guys like Bobby Blade together with us. And Bobby Blade is one hell of a talker. And professional wrestling is a beautiful thing because it allows things like what you're doing to be possible. Because you may have basketball that may try to. You may have any other sport that tries to. But they're not really trying to get it out there. Professional wrestling allows it to be able to get out there to the world. To let people see that it does exist and that they need to be aware of it. Because there are a lot of people that still don't understand it. But thanks to you, it's helping many understand it. Because every time you go to a promotion, you're wearing that purple zebra striped shirt. It's letting them know, now I understand this movement. Because not only that, you're also making sure that people know that it can happen to anyone. And that it's not something to treat like it's a bad thing. No, because it's not. It can happen to anyone. And it can be just as bad, or it can be just as powerful.
Right.
And you're making sure people understand that that's what you want to do. And that's a hell of a thing, because that purple zebra shirt, when they see that, they know Dustin James is the referee to be looking at. That's what I've been getting from all the fans. That Christina proves that your movement is powerful. Because she's tuning in tonight because you are bringing awareness to something that she's dealing with. Something that a lot of other people are dealing with. And that's awesome. And even though you weren't able to ref more of those matches that night, they understood. Yes, he may have this, but it didn't stop him. It was going to hold him back. It may be something that took you out, but you still came back and you did your job. Right, be it UCW, TCW, Bullpen, Grindhouse, you've been doing your thing. And me and Andy's have been taking notice since, I think it was late 2022. Because that's the first time when we got to really know you. And that was during the beginning of your referee career. And now look at it, it's 2025, and you've got a whole movement going on.
That's how a lot of people have come to know me instead of just like another referee.
Exactly. Because you didn't settle for just anything. You wanted to be a referee. You may have wanted to be a writer first, but as soon as you start being referee, you start to gain appreciation for it. You start to realize maybe this was meant for me. And even though you did something that Caesar, it didn't stop you. You made sure that the people there at Grindhouse knew I'm okay. That yes, I know that scared a lot of you. Yes, I know that you may have been terrified and traumatized by it and may have been scared for me. But I'm okay. And I'll be back. And I'll be damned if this is the end of my referee career. Because I'm going to continue on and do what I do best and what I love. That's what you've been doing. 3 years now.
Yep.
3 years of wearing the purple now. That's awesome. And I got to tell you, seeing you referee, you're getting better every day. Because you're learning more as your referee.
That's right.
A lot of people don't understand that even when you're a good wrestler, you're never too good to not learn something new.
That's right.
Exactly. Man, I tell you what, though. We've been wanting to get you inside the studio for a while, too.
Right.
Like, I think it was about 2023 when we wanted to get you in. But we didn't know that you were living here in Lexington the whole time.
Not the whole time.
Not the whole time, but this time that we finally got to get you in.
I thought it was Nashville that you guys were in the beginning. That's why I was like, all right, I'll wait till, one of my buddies is down there. I was like, all right, I'll go to Nashville.
Yeah, we've been in Lexington, Kentucky the whole time.
Yeah,
Which, if you see behind us, where's our Kentucky logo at? Because, oh, wait, we got a big old Lex sign right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been in Lexington, Kentucky since the beginning of the podcast. We're proud to say we've had a lot of people in here. Like, you know who Alexis Littlefoot is, right?
Yeah.
She came in here just 2 matches in. That was 2022. We watched her at Barbara, and we're like, we got to have her in here. And we made it happen just a week later. She came in here, and now look at her. She's a star. She's been on AEW TV in the dark matches as well. And I can't wait for AEW to actually sign her up.
Right.
Because they got Billy Starks, a.k.a. Grindhouse Alumni. Because that's where she got her start.
Right.
And I think that they should shout out Grindhouse, because think about it. They made it possible for them to get a big star like Billy Starks. Who, by the way, is kicking ass on Ring of Honor. But we've had so many good names here in Lexington. And we've had some good names from Grindhouse as well. Even Hire's been down here a couple times. And he also brought ZDP. ZDP was sitting inside that room, but we've also had him on this show as well with Icon Lee. And that's huge because these are names that a lot of people should be paying attention to. Look at Even Higher. That's a guy that doesn't let his size stop him from wrestling. Because there's a lot of guys that would be saying, I'm not big enough. I'm not 6 foot. I'm not Rey Mysterio's size. I don't think I can. But not Even. Even sees himself as larger than life. I like to make the joke that he's 7 foot tall and he weighs 300 pounds. And that I can't believe whenever a guy picks him up. Like when he was at OVW back in 2023, we watched Joe Mack and him. I was like, how the hell did Joe Mack pick up this 7 foot tall giant and chokeslam him? And then me and Clem J made a joke about if Omos and Even Higher were to meet inside of a Hell in a Cell cage match, Even Higher would pick him up and chokeslam him off the top of the cage. Because Even Higher has that charisma. It doesn't matter about your size. Wrestling is the one place where your size does not matter. You can be small, you can be big, you can be anything you want. And you're going to make it big. Because as long as you got the will to do it, you already got the tools of the trade. And he's a grindhouse guy that's been whooping ass and taking names. Miss Larkin, that's another name that's been taking names and whooping ass with her therapist as well. Yeah. Don't get on the therapist's bad side now. Yeah. She's got that ball of ketchup, and she's not afraid to use it. But also, you see Kenny Cummings come around too. Kenny Cummings is a great guy.
I've been on his show.
Hell yeah, chilling with Kenny.
Yep.
That's a good show too. Also, Kenny's one of those guys that I can appreciate because he don't let nothing bother him. When his car was having to get repaired, he hit me up and we were able to get him to the show because he was wanting to go to EWA. And so me, Joe Hinton, we went and got him and we took him to the show and he enjoyed himself because that's what wrestling does. It doesn't matter who you are. If you go to a wrestling show, even if you're not a wrestling fan, I guarantee by the end of that show, you're going to be a wrestling fan. I guarantee it. Because just think, people that watch WWE, there's probably been fans that were not fans at all. And as soon as they saw WWE, they're like, I'm hooked. I got to see what happens next week. Think about that. Right. That's what professional wrestling does. It brings people together. And that's the beauty of it. It's art. I like to say that wrestling is a soap opera for men. Because you got your drama, you got your fighting, you got your relationship issues that take place, you got your villain that's so bad that you want to see the good guy whoop his ass, you got your hero, you got the guy that's conflicted, you got the guy that is tweener, you got the girl that is a heroine, you got the girl that wants to take control of that heroine with her voodoo magic like Lexi Green.
Right.
And you got your psycho crazies, and you got your heroes that hold their titles. Wrestling is that beautiful. That's the art of wrestling.
That it is.
Now let me know, when was the first time you watched wrestling?
That I can remember?
Yes.
It had to be in the 90s.
Whoo! Back when it was on fire.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember like the exact time. Like there was times before my favorite wrestler came into it that I was watching.
Yeah.
But it was Monday Night Raw, and it was just had to be 96, 97?
Good years, because 96 when the Attitude Era was starting to transition in, because by early 97 when Vince McMahon coined the term, quite frankly, we're tired of insulting your intelligence. Welcome to a new era, the Attitude Era. But guess what? He still insulted our intelligence. It isn't until 2022 where we got an actual competent guy that works for WWE that doesn't insult us and has intertwining stories where wrestlers remember, hey, you're the asshole that ruined my moment. Now, if that was this man that wrote that, they would be like, oh, hi, guy. Let's shake hands. I thought you guys hate each other. Right. Imagine if we'd saw Roman Reigns do that. Oh, yeah, Seth, we're best friends now. I completely forgot that you attacked me with that chair back in 2014. But then, here's the video of Triple H's storytelling. Last year's WrestleMania, when Cody Rhodes won the WWE title, it's because Roman Reigns had a split-second choice. He had the chair inside his hand. He's looking at Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is champion. He wants that title so bad. No referee around. But then his eyes look towards Seth Rollins, who just happens to be inside the same position that Roman Reigns was back in 2014. And he goes for the man that caused his ire. That's the beauty of professional wrestling. Think about that. He was so overcome with rage because he can't let that go. That was a moment in time where Roman Reigns lost everything. So him seeing Seth Rollins wearing that sheer gear, and he's got his back to Roman, and he's staying inside the same position that Roman was. Roman's like, now's the time. Hits him with the chair. Seth Rollins falls down exactly like Roman Reigns did. And then, boom, bada bing. Roman gets caught. Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Because that's the beauty. Because their story never ended. Because it's still going. Roman Reigns hates Seth Rollins for what he did to the Shield. They were a brotherhood, a family. And now they're all separate. Roman was a tribal chief, but at that moment he did not care about neither the WWE title or being tribal chief. At that time he saw Seth Rollins, and all I could see was red on his eyes because he saw the thing that caused him the most ire. And then he lost. He lost not because he wasn't good enough. He lost because he had a choice. The choice was where he could take the easy road, regain his title, keep it. Or the man that caused him so much ire, so much pain from 2014 all the way to 2024 is standing inside the ring opposite him, back to him. And for some, this man is wearing the one thing that symbolizes the time when Roman Reigns had his life corrupted. He chose that man because that anger still was fresh. That is what I love about professional wrestling, because he did not ignore what happened. He didn't act like him and Seth hadn't been brothers. He didn't even act like he forgot what Seth did to him. He did to Seth what Seth did to him. And Seth Rollins paid the ultimate price. Meanwhile, you witnessed something so beautiful. What kind of story has made you feel like that in the local independents?
On the indies. I didn't get to witness the whole story, but I got the very ending of one, and then there's another that I came into like part of the way through.
Yeah.
The ending of one was, yeah, I go to remember the opponent's name. I freaking forgot it. It was my first time at Gen X, and it was the main event. It was Kellen Craven in a dog collar match, him and his former tag partner. His tag partner stole the Gen X Heavyweight Championship.
Nice.
Not by winning the match or anything like that to have the title. He just up and stole it after Kellen had won it. I'm not sure how long in advance it was because it had happened before I gotten my opportunity to Iron Ref at Gen X that show.
Yes, I know the story that you're talking about.
And the finish of the story is Kellen versus his former tag partner.
Yep. The guy who he was tag team partner with for a couple years before that.
And his name keeps slipping my mind.
Same here. But it was a hell of a story.
And, like, it just kept going and going and going. And I come in to referee that match. And I got to see it. And he's going. And it's a hellacious back and forth match. And during the match, like, it wasn't a planned spot or anything like that. It was just because it's a dog collar match. The chain on one side had broken.
Yeah.
And therefore, normal dog collar matches are while you have your opponent down, you have to touch all 4 posts.
Yep.
This one, however, is you two are linked by the dog collar so nobody can escape. Instead of having a steel cage or anything like that or a lumberjack match, it's a dog collar.
That's right.
So nobody can run away or anything like that. You are linked to each other and you are going to beat the hell out of each other. And somebody's getting the 1, 2, 3. And so therefore, Kellen is the one that still has the chain attached to his dog collar.
Yeah.
And I go and ask Kellen, all right, since he's not wanting me to put it back on, it's like, you want me to go on ahead and just take that off?
Yep.
And then just let it be like you guys just beating the hell out of each other with the chain. He said, no, leave this shit on me, and I'm going to go and be the one that has easy access to the chain. I'm going to beat the hell out of him with this chain.
Nice.
It's like, he really hates him, and I'm seeing this at the end of this story between the two of them. It's like, I'm not sure the story that led up to it. I'm seeing the finale of it. It's like, I got into this, and it's like, wow, this is really, really big right here.
Yep. Because they used to be tag team partners. When they were tag team partners, they had the world. But then one partner had to step away from wrestling. Mm-hmm. When he came back, the reason why he stole the titles, because to him, he believed that Kellen Craven turned his back on him. He said, Kellen, you never visited me. You never called me. You never talked to me. You never spoke to me. So I only took what was mine. Right. This feud grew and it grew until finally you witnessed the finale. That hatred that they found for each other. Because they used to be the good of brothers, the good of family. But by that point, neither man gave a damn about the other. They were willing to kill each other if that's what it took.
And then the other one, it's not a violent ending to it. It's a very, I guess you can say, happy ending to it. So it had been going on for a little bit before I got there. This was very early on for me. Brandon Wolf and Cash Jackson at Grindhouse. They had been embroiled in a bitter feud with each other. And they just kept beating the hell out of each other for months and months and months. And that's what it was all about. Like, and so it kept going on. And me being brand new, like not exactly having a role yet. Like my first show, I was there, like as part of the training class. I was up there as bell ringer the first time, and it's like, all right, cool. So there's that, ring the bell and all that stuff, and then these two, they're doing the contract signing thing, which if you're a wrestling fan, you know how contract signings are gonna go.
Yep.
Nope. It's like a wedding in wrestling. We all know how
exactly. It never ends good.
And they start fighting and everything like that. And there's only 2 members of security.
Yeah.
So I got to go out there and help break that up. And we get that one broken up between the two. And then next month, they do the match. And not real sure how it ended because of how long ago it's been.
Yeah.
And me having concussions from the seizures, that doesn't help my memory. But, so then it goes on with them just beating the hell out of each other for a bit longer. And then finally, when it finally is ready for it to end, between the two, like, it's got to end. Rumble happens. And in the match, the two of them finally, they bump into each other.
Yeah.
As they were cleaning house, and finally it's the two of them, and one was needing help. The other one bails him out. And all of a sudden, the other one gets up, and they shake hands, and all that stuff, and that's when they became tag team.
Rough House.
That's how Rough
That's
House
a good storyline. That's how a great one is built. You know what? Next Saturday, we got a huge show coming up that we forgot to mention. You know what show I'm talking about?
A week from tomorrow.
It's the biggest show in Kentucky.
Caverna. Because
that's right. Horse
slipped
Cave, Kentucky.
my mind because I'm not on that show.
But you know what? It's a huge show in Kentucky. I'm telling you, Dustin. It's the show to be because even if you're not booked for it, you can go check it out and watch some good old professional wrestling. Because we got the Birdman going to be there. Coco Beware himself is going to be meet and greeting. You got J.R. Rock in his final match happening. Now, if it's Austin Diamond that's going to wrestle, Austin Diamond's already accepted. He told him last night, if I got to take the old man to the pasture, he will. We'll see it. And you don't want to miss it because that's going to be a hell of a show. It's in Horse Cave, Kentucky, March 15th, 2025. Great place to be. Because Terry England...
That's very good.
Terry England will make you still pay for your water bottle. He'll also make you pay for your seats.
Yeah, he will.
Again. You've already paid for it once, but you're going to be paying for it again, buddy. Also, you don't want to forget, we'll be there selling merchandise. For once, the Nice Game Podcast has merchandise, which you can actually get at our table when we're there. That's going to be a hell of a show. Yeah. You know, I witnessed the recent storyline, too. It happened last year. EWA had a big storyline going on. It started off in January. Clayton Cannon and Scott Dime joined forces at one point. But that's beginning of 2024. Scott Dime got turned on by Clayton. And then Alex Angel, who had debuted just a month earlier, he comes out and he throws Scott Dime over the ropes and he chokes him with his own tie. That was the beginning of the BSB, the Ben Sheeran brand, because then Gaston LaRue, Mr. By Book at the time, he joined them. And Ethan Hire and Berto were put through hell along with Party Mike. And for month after month after month, Ethan tried to get the Heritage Championship. He even tried to get the EWA Championship. Clayton Cannon always had someone to help him win. Finally, we get this blow-off match between Gaston LaRue and Ethan Hire for the EWA Heritage Championship. They went to war for over 60 minutes, is what it felt like. It was only a 30-minute match. And he threw Ethan Hire into the guardrail, and he could hear just how much he hated his guts. And finally, Ethan Hire got the win with his newest finishing move that he pulled off. 1, 2, 3, he's the new EWA Heritage Championship. That was a great storyline. But that wasn't the end of the BSB story. It ended when finally we got a match. Ethan Hire, Berto, and Marty Clay, who just returned the month before that in October. It was September. He finally returns, and they set up the blow-off match. Those three versus Alex Angel, Clayton Cannon, and Gaston. Well, Gaston already got kicked out. because when he lost the EW Heritage Championship, they kicked his ass. So they brought in a new guy, Bomani, who is a big 7-footer. Comes out, well, it didn't do him too good because Marty Clay, Berto, even higher, they got the win. And you know what that meant? The BSB era of owning EWA was over. Because then Scott Diamond came out there, he threw Ben Sheeran's ass back inside the ring, and they went to town on him. Finally, Scott did to him what he did to Scott. Kicked his ass and made sure he was out. And that is what you call brilliant storytelling, because they remember what happened in January and they culminated it in October. Great time to be a wrestling fan. It's good storytelling can draw you in. Like, I've seen some good stories. Like, the Kane and Undertaker story is one of the best stories that WWE ever produced. Because at the time, when Undertaker debuted back in 1990, they were calling him Kane, the Undertaker. But it was C-A-I-N, Kane. So then someone had to bring out a deal come 1996 to start teasing that Undertaker had a little brother. They burnt down the family home, which was a funeral home. And that little brother Kane was trapped inside. And Paul Bearer was coming out saying, your brother Kane is alive, Undertaker. He's alive. And then for months and months and months, he'd just keep on taunting the Undertaker with this. Finally, October 5th, 1997, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels are having one hell of a Hell in a Cell match. The very first of its kind. And then, while Shawn Michaels is down, he's bloody and he's battered, the lights go out, just like how it would for the Undertaker. But this ain't the Undertaker, because in the fire at the entranceway starts, and this music that sounds like this horrific cathedral music starts playing, and all you see is a shadow covering two men, Paul Bearer and this 7-foot giant. And this man, as soon as he sees this guy, he's screaming, That's gotta be Kane. That's gotta be Kane. Because what else was he to think? Because Paul Bear's been teasing this man for months upon months. Finally, Kane just grabs the door and he rips it off its hinge, throws it to the side, stomps in. You see the Undertaker, who never looks shocked inside of his life, and he's standing there with his mouth agape and his eyes are all wide, and he's just looking at this man like. And Kane just raises his arms up like he would years later. It goes down. No fire at the time, but it still did its job, because then he goes just him, grabs him up for a pile driver, turns all the way around so the fans can see that this 7-foot tall giant is being held inside this other man's arms. And then, boom, drop down with the pile driver. Then HBK, while that's the whole going on, crawls over, arm on top of his chest. 1, 2, 3, gets his win. But the biggest story there was that Kane had just arrived. And this story was not over even at WrestleMania 14. Because then 2004, yep. Because then the Undertaker, he'd been buried the year before by Kane. Because Kane buried him alive. Kane comes, he's saying, you're not where. He keeps on saying that there's no way that the Undertaker's back, because he killed him. Eviscerated him, made sure he was never come back. Well, when the Undertaker's music played and Paul Bearer comes out and he's got that big ass iron and he's saying, you're no son of mine to Kane. You can feel it. And then he starts showing off the urn, and then Undertaker comes out and Kane's face is like, you're not real. And then when Undertaker gets out of the ring, and just for a couple minutes, Kane's just going, you're not real. You're not real. And he starts edging closer every time he keeps on saying, Undertaker's just staring at him. Whole time, eyes not blinking, nothing, just staring at him. First time he touches Undertaker, that's when, wham, Undertaker lands a punch. That was a brilliant storytelling, because it had years to build up. It had backstory, and it culminated right there and then at WrestleMania 20. That was a story that made you want to keep on watching. It kept you on the seat of your pants. That's what wrestling does to you. And I believe that's what captivates you to want to be a referee, because you get to witness those stories firsthand. Whereas we fans are watching it from the crowd, you're experiencing it right then and there.
sometimes I get to be a part of it.
Exactly. And that's the best part. Because when you get to be a part of it, you're not just a referee. You're part of the magic that's making that storyline work. And that's the good thing. And you got to experience that with Kevin Craven and his tag team partner.
Right.
He may have come in at the tail end, but you got to experience the hatred that they had for each other, the pure disdain that they had to see the other man dead, because they were angry. Because that storyline had been going for a while. Because what I love about it is that they not only made it happen, but they were drawing inspiration from when they were tag team. Because they were brothers. They were family. And then when you came into it, you witnessed what happened when a family were no longer a family. They were now just brothers who hated each other's guts. They wanted to see the other guy suffer. And even if they had no chain attached to their car, they were going to take that chain and they were going to beat the hell out of them. Because that was pure storytelling at its best. A lot of people need to see stories like these. Like, that's what I love about independent wrestling, is when it can have stories like this. Like, EWA drew me in when it had the Ben Sheeran brand story. Because even hiring Gaston Rue, that was a story that was building. It all started when they had their first EWA Heritage Championship match. Even Hire won that match. But guess what? Ben Sheeran comes out and he says, "Oh, no. Did I say that it was a pinfall match? No, this match was a submissions-only match." And then Gaston Rue attacks him from the lower back. Puts him inside the walls of Gaston. And puts his knee onto the back of his neck. He has no choice but to tap out. Loses right then there, even though he won the title. That was a storyline, because then, for the next couple months, Ethan Hire had to claw. He had to fight. He had to batter. He had to get to where he wanted to. He wanted that title. He needed that title. When he fought Clayton for the EWA Championship, he was so close to getting it, but just not close enough, because Ben Sheeran brand, they couldn't be far apart. So he lost that. Well, Gaston was growing very cocky. He believed that he could take even higher. He believed that he could mollywop. He could stomp him. He could put him into him. And he accepted Ethan's next challenge. And that challenge had one stipulation. The match had to have either even higher wins, or Ben Sheeran wouldn't be on the line for the next match. Well, Ethan Hire and him fought for 30 minutes. 30 long-ass minutes. Just beating the hell out of each other. And finally, Ethan Hire whipped out that new finishing move that he's been practicing. Hit Gaston with it. 1, 2, 3. And Ben Sheeran realized, oh shit, this could end up me get my ass whooped. And that's what happened. At the next show that they had, finally, after a full year, that 6-man tag match, the stipulation was, if Marty and them won, Ben Sheeran was no longer commissioner, but also Ben Sheeran was going to get his ass beat. He made one critical mistake. He put his hands on Alex Angel. I mean, it was bound to happen, because for the whole year he was dogging this man. He was getting in this man's face, telling him that he was nuts and telling him that he's stupid. It almost felt like there were seeds of doubt already planted there. But that moment made Alex Angel say, "Fuck you, go and do it yourself." And then he got his ass whooped by Scott Diamond. Beautiful storytelling at its best. Is that what makes you love this business?
Storytelling is definitely something that makes me love the business, as is some of the wrestlers that I can definitely, want to say have chemistry with, because, I know how wrestlers, when they get in the ring, they can definitely have very good chemistry with each other, and the fans pick up on that.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, it makes your job easier when you're in the ring, and therefore, it makes it also more enjoyable for you to do, as well as the fans also enjoy it more because of the fact, like, all right, well, that means that I can do this and do this and do this, and therefore, like, I can try different things now, and it's not gonna harm anything in general with how the fans are gonna react to it because of the fact of being this person clicked so well with how I'm saying it. Like, I'm not going to be told later on, like,
Yeah.
hey, look, that was really offensive or anything like that. It's like,
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to be hit later on with a freaking lawsuit because I said something or anything like that.
Exactly.
It's just like, hey, look, all right, I'm not going to be at risk of losing my job because I went and did something with somebody that I enjoy working with and somebody that enjoys working with me like every week or something like that. So it's like, that's easy to do. And it's very easy to go out there and just be like, all right, I'm just going to go out there and do my job. And like, if I'm with one of these people as the list grows of who I'm able to do it with, to where it's no longer just who I have chemistry with, it's now just part of my easy repertoire, and some people can probably pick up on it of, you know, me and them just mouthing off, and those that hear what is being said can definitely pick up on
Exactly
who it is. And the moves I do in those interactions with those wrestlers, like, those will vary from who it is. One that people can tell, or I hope they can tell, that I definitely enjoy working with is Lexi Green.
Hell yeah.
And when I work with her, like, even though I enjoy working with her, she creeps me out.
Yeah. She tries to hex you.
I think I'm one of the few she hasn't hexed yet. She's
Yeah.
gotten Dallas.
Oh, man.
I don't know what it is about me, but she hasn't hexed me yet. I'd like to keep it that way. Every time she gets in the ring, I'm staying as far away as I can. For
That's
as
the
long
best. That's the best action to do.
And I think the crowd has picked up on that because she is scary.
She gives the heebie. Also, she got that voodoo doll.
Yeah.
Always close to her person.
I stay very far away from her. So
Yeah, 'cause you don't want to get caught and have your hair plucked, and then you be the one that's on that voodoo doll.
yeah, that's why I stay far away.
Exactly. And can you believe that we've been on here 2 hours?
No, I can't.
Man, it's been a hell of a show, though, because you've been able to let the people know exactly what you're all about. Let them know what your shirt means. Let them know that you don't let what happens to you hinder you, because you're a referee, and you're always going to do your job right down the middle. Except for when Lexi Green tries to hex you.
Right.
Always stay away from her. But also, you got any last words for the good folks?
Let's see. Last words for good folks. Definitely check me out at referee Dustin James on Facebook. Check out the Epilepsy Foundation for more information about what to do for seizures and all that stuff. If you need someone to talk to about if you're unsure of what to do in your life for your seizures and all that stuff, or anything, like, definitely don't feel like there's nobody to talk to. There is always somebody to talk to. If you go to one of the wrestling shows and you have seizures and you feel like you haven't been able to talk to somebody, definitely come up to my merch table, and I will definitely hear you out, and I will definitely talk to you about it. I've had people do that all the time. My next show is definitely going to be AMW in Ashland, Kentucky on the 16th. So we'll be doing that.
Hell yeah.
And then I guess just tune in here for Tegan Rose next week.
Heck yeah, and also Charles the next day, because that's going to be a fun one. And guys, I just want to thank you to everyone that's been tuning in tonight. Christine, we do pay attention. We do appreciate it. And just remember, guys, always make sure to check on everyone. Don't be afraid to talk to someone, because talking to someone helps you, and there's never a wrong time to seek someone out, to talk to them and get to know them, and also help them out. Because if you see someone struggling, or you see someone having troubles, don't treat it like you shouldn't reach out to them. Go out there, put a hand on their shoulder and tell them, I'm here for you. You want to talk? I'm here to talk. That's always how it should be. And Christine said, you're welcome. Enjoyed watching. We appreciate you. And guys, with that, I only got one thing to say. You're not having fun, you're not getting none. Damn Skippy. Yee.
Nice Guy Andy podcast.
Ain't what your mama said.
He keeps popping off at the mouth.